worried about any of that, but what do we got?
What are your plans for senior night for the guys?
Yeah, we're going to recognize. I know it's a unique situation with the COVID year and not knowing who may or may not come back. So we're going to recognize all those guys that could be in that that last year, even though they have the ability to return. So we're going to do that before the game, give them a jersey, and yeah.
I think senior night has always been something that people look forward to. Is it going to be strange going forward, not only because of the COVID year, but with the transfer portal? You're probably not getting a ton of four-year guys. It's going to be guys like Isaiah and Gabe, which obviously not new here. But what are your thoughts on what that night's going to be like going forward?
Yeah, it's certainly a different dynamic than what we've had in the past because you're going to have more guys everywhere that have not been at that school for that whole duration. So for us, obviously George, Carter Booth are the outliers, I guess, that way, and the other guys have all been transfers. So I think it's just part of what college basketball and recruiting and what senior night will be as we move forward, and just something for us to adjust to.
TJ, in reviewing the tape of last Saturday, the play Jaden made on Nigel packing the ball, go over that play and what your thoughts of it after you watched it a time or two.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jaden's a really effective on-ball defender. We got the matchups the way we wanted there late in the game, and I think his length, even before deflection, like his length is just disruptive, right? Like he's a physical athlete, long arms, and so not only that imposing that that body type and that mentality on Pack, then certainly creating the loose ball and then getting to the floor, all our big plays. So that was a really impactful play, certainly at that point in the game, to get us possession back of the basketball and allow Jazz to solidify the game with the free throws.
What is his wingspan anyway? Or is that a big question?
Yeah, I'm guessing close, 6'10", 6'11", if I had to guess, somewhere in that. I know Pete Link probably has the exacts, but I'd guess it's 6'10", 6'11".
I may have asked you this after the game. If I did, forgive me. Was there an oh wow moment in practice with Jaden where something finally kicked in?
I would say, like, as seasons move forward and teams evolve, like, you end up reinventing your team at least once, if not twice, during every season. That's been my experience, and you can reinvent them. Sometimes it's new personnel. There's injuries, there's guys out, and different things you try. Maybe you go big or small. So for us, as we got into league play and we're playing some, a stretch of teams that they're bigger and have more physicality, we just felt like to have a guy out there at 6'5", can help us on the glass, help make some plays on loose balls and things like that, and be more impactful defensively, and then also give us another guy here and there that can make a play off the dribble, which Jaden has certainly done. So overall, there wasn't like a wow moment. It was more of evaluating how he stayed the course, was really what matters to me, because I'm not – there's not going to be one moment in practice. I'm evaluating each and every day. And so the fact that he stayed the course and was ready, allowed us the opportunity to go his way.
So you wouldn't have had the confidence to do that game 2 of the season?
Yeah, I think for Jaden it was something he needed to earn and prove over time, And again, in his defense, him and Tyrese, he had a unique freshman year, and Tyrese is young. All the rest of the guys are older guys. So when we're practicing – and we're going through our defensive drills, other guys have done those so many times. It still was relatively new for Jaden. And so I think even with the COVID year and the shortened season, he didn't have that same opportunity. So he and Tyrese were probably more similar in the fact that they just hadn't had the reps. Tyrese certainly stood out early for obvious reasons. And Jaden, as time evolved, became more apparent to us that, especially as we got into league play, where he could help us.
TJ, the game at Oklahoma State obviously feels like it was a long time ago, but came out with a close victory. What are a couple things you'd maybe like to replicate from then, and what is one or two you'd maybe want to shore up, especially from early in that game when the team got behind a little bit?
Yeah, I think when we didn't do a great job early taking care of the basketball, that was certainly an issue. We let them get going in transition, which they're really good when they can do that. So we've got to take care of the ball, eliminate their transition, keep them off the board, second chance points. I think when we did that later in the game and as the game moved on, we were more successful. Felt like of all the games, it was one where Tyrese really commanded it, even though he had a couple plays that weren't ideal. When push came to shove, he made some big plays late, but other things we'd like to replicate. I thought it was Condit's best game. He had multiple effort plays on both sides of the ball that were really good. Kelsher had some really big charges he took. So I think, the things that we'd like to replicate for sure is take care of the ball, move the basketball. And then our bigs, I thought, just really did a great job running the floor, sprinting to the rim, active on the glass, and we're going to need that again.
You mentioned Tyrese's command the last couple of games, his assist numbers, keep climbing. I mean, just from a game manager standpoint, what are you seeing from him these last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I'm seeing him value every rep in practice, which I think at the start of the year there was probably a part of him that he felt like, that he would rise to the level in the games, and I just believe that if your body does things one way, you always will do it that way, and he's really valuing those practice reps. That's carrying over in the game, and I don't think it's a big secret. When he plays well, we play well. If you look at our wins in the league play, he's played well, and if you look at the games that we weren't successful, it probably wasn't his best performance. So certainly his confidence is growing. He's finding his teammates. He's sharing the ball. Our team assisted turnover numbers have been through the roof as a result of it. So good to see, and something we need to keep building on.
I know coming into the year, you obviously gave him a lot of freedom, controlling this offense, obviously point guard from day one. I mean, has he exceeded expectations of what you were wanting to see from him this year? Obviously, I know steals, assists, he's kind of climbing up the freshman ranks for this program. I mean, has he exceeded what you thought he would bring to the table right away? Or?
I'd say we had very high standards for him. Hard to say at the beginning. I'm somebody that until I watch you work every day, it's hard for me to say exactly how I think it will go. As you do this long enough and you come across guys like Melvin Ejim or George Niang over the years and you see the work they do every day, you just know they're going to make the team win. And so with Tyrese, as this has gone on, there's been more and more of that from him as well. Certainly it's helpful that he has been able to see guys like Brockington and Kelsher, how they work every day. So I would say it's great to see he's producing. I don't know that he's necessarily exceeding because we had high expectations. Certainly when you bring in a freshman and you don't recruit older transfer point guards and really you have, one pure natural point guard on your roster, that says that we thought, he could do a lot. And so I would just say that we're proud of his continued development, but I don't know that he's exceeded. I just say he's risen to the challenge.
TJ, I remember asking you a week or two ago about leadership in the program, and when you guys hit the rough patch and got to 3-9, did anybody emerge in that sense? Because I'm sure as a coach you think maybe there's a magic bullet to kind of turn things around, but what has led you guys to 4 straight wins?
Well, I think it's the trust in our daily habits, what we do every single day. And sometimes, you can get distracted from realizing how important that is and gaining the confidence from those. Our group started fast, certainly created an expectation that nobody thought would be in place this year. And now for our guys, there's more things on the periphery, right? There's more distractions, there's more social media, there's more questions, there's more stories. And so I think what that can do at times is take your focus away from what's right in front of you each day, what those habits are, and where you gain your confidence from. And our group built the success early in the year because we relied on our work habits each and every day. And I feel like there's a little bit of a stretch there where our confidence and command wasn't as good, and maybe we were distracted and not as locked in. Didn't mean we didn't practice hard. It just meant our confidence was affected by it a little bit. So when things got tough, I just think how things work in life, you're going to, go back to those habits and what you know. Unfortunately, our guys trusted us to count on those. So I don't think there was any like one speech a guy gave or a moment that anybody had. I think it was more of a collective effort to get back to that. And at the same time, Isaiah Brockington has done some amazing things. And when you see him going at that level, it gives guys confidence. When you see Tyrese taking care of the basketball the way he has, it gives guys confidence. So I think it's kind of like the iron sharpens iron. Rely on the habits. Guys have stepped up, which causes other guys to step up.
As an extension of that, what does a 4-game winning streak do when you're a week away from being in, win or go home scenarios for the rest of the year?
Yeah, it's a good spot to be in. I mean, you want to be playing your best going into the tournament. It doesn't mean you're going to win every game, but our guys are playing with confidence right now. We're sharing the ball. We're playing for each other. We believe we should win, and that's the spot you want to be in when you roll into March. And this is a time of the year for everybody that anything can happen. We've seen it happen, so we just got to keep our heads down and work each day. And I like where our guys are right now, and I feel good about how we're playing moving forward.
Maybe this is apples and oranges, but are you playing your best basketball now, or when you look back at how you guys are playing in November and December?
Yeah, I'd say we're playing it differently. Early in the year, there was, especially as other teams are working on offense and integrating new players, we were able to just overwhelm people defensively with our ball pressure and turning people over. As our team has evolved, now it's not that we don't pressure the ball, it's just that we're not generating as many turnovers, but what we're doing far more effectively is offensively taking care of the ball, sharing the ball, and running better offense. We're more efficient. So, like I said earlier, teams kind of evolved during the year, so whether it was better early or better now, I'm not sure. It was probably better defensively early and better offensively now. But I also think part of that is the teams that we're playing in the Big 12, it's really hard to, you've got to have so much depth and so many bodies, and to play that hard and that tenacity every single night in the league play is going to be a challenge. So I think right now our guys are probably the most confident they've been and feeling the best that they've felt because we've experienced adversity and bounced back from it, and we've proved to ourselves that we can do that.
Going back to Travis's question at the beginning, how has the portal and the COVID year, changed your recruiting? I mean, do you know how many how many scholarships you're gonna have open right now for sure, for next year? Or, how does that work out?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think those are all, with our guys, we're gonna have personal conversations after the season and see what guys' goals are and what they're looking to do. It's definitely a different dynamic because, you realize, there's guys that have the opportunity to come back or to go. And that may not be like in past years where it's only if it's for the NBA, right? There could be guys that graduate and decide to move on. So what it's changed is in recruiting, you've got to be mindful of a lot of scenarios, right? You've got to continually be active in the transfer portal or aware of what might happen there. You've got to continue recruiting on all fronts at all positions because you're just not sure where everyone's head's at. And I'm somebody that looks at what's right in front of me, so we're not going to engage in any conversation with any of our guys about what might happen because we're going to keep our head down and stay focused on what we have right in front of us. And it's a great opportunity tomorrow in Hilton, to play Oklahoma State, and we're going to stay in that headspace and evaluate it all after the season.